New tonight, the Supreme Court says this fall it's going to take up the most direct challenge to Roe v. Wade in a generation. The court going to hear a challenge to a Mississippi law that would ban almost all abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. This case could pave the way for the strictest restrictions on abortion since the court's ruling on Roe v. Wade. That's going to create a significant moment for this court. I want to bring in George Washington University law professor Sonia Suter. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it only takes 4 justices to agree to hear a case, so I see 2 possible things happening here, and you can set me straight if I'm right or wrong. First, this supermajority conservative court could elect to take a big bite out of Roe, or this case could bring a more specific standard so every state out there isn't trying to make its own end run around Roe.
Right. There are a lot of different options. I mean, all we know for sure is that at least 4 justices thought it was worth looking at this case, but that doesn't tell us what the votes will be when the case is finally decided. But it's not surprising. It wouldn't be surprising to get a majority who would in some way want to cut back what Roe stood for. So the question before the court was whether you can limit abortions before viability, which is around 23 to 25 weeks. The Mississippi law was a 15-week ban. And if the court were willing to open up that door, it does create a slippery slope down which we might go and find an increasing number of restrictions that are upheld across jurisdictions.
Right. And are there other states out there that have initiated their own laws that this case would settle those questions as well?
Yeah, there are a number of states that have set limits that are before viability. So 20 weeks, 18 weeks, 15 weeks. Texas recently passed a law with what's called a heartbeat bill, where abortions are banned at 6 weeks before people often even know that they're pregnant. So depending on what line they draw, this could impact whether certain laws are unconstitutional in other states. It's really hard to know how the case is going to come out and whether they open up the door just for some pre-viability bans. It's really hard to guess at this point, but it is a very big deal. Right. You don't have to overturn Roe outright to severely restrict abortion rights.
Right. So bouncing off what you just said a second ago, you wouldn't expect that Roe v. Wade would just be thrown out by whatever the decision that the court made, but as some folks would say, possibly chipping away at it.
Right. I mean, it is possible. It could be overturned. You could count up to 5 of the justices who might want to. I think that's less likely. I think it's more likely that they allow some pre-viability bans, but I would call that more than just a chipping. It's a pretty monumental gouging of reproductive rights and very, very significant long-term impact for pregnant people across the country.
So with this 6-3 supermajority that the conservative appointed justices have on the court, I mean, would that give, folks who are in favor of abortion, pro-choice folks, cause for concern? I mean, Justice Roberts was kind of the swing vote, but now even he would be outvoted.
Right. He can't hold that sort of vote to sort of control the outcome. What he could do is try to write the opinion to try to temper how far the court goes, but he does not have control over the court the way he did before Amy Coney Barrett joined the court. It's changed things substantially. He's not the swing vote anymore, for sure.
Understood. Professor Suter with George Washington, certainly appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us some perspective on this.
Thank you.